I love you.
Don't make it to the mainland too often, so when I do, I like to indulge myself. You're mine!
So I should start recording?
Start recording. And then we're going to do some fun clapping exercises.
Do I get to clap, or is that just you?
There's no clapping for you. Because it'd be like this awkward third clap. Talk to that like it's Anna. I did want to ask you something. What color shirt are you wearing?
Pink. Dark pink.
What color?
Dark pink, like fuchsia, sort of.
See, I was in a pink shirt, and Cara got pissed because she's in a salmon-colored shirt and said my shirt was going to clash with her shirt. She made me change. This could have been a full pink podcast that you denied, Cara.
Wow.
Sorry.
You ready?
Yep.
Hi. Welcome
Hi.
to LOSTies with Jed and Cara. I'm Jed.
I'm Cara.
And Cara has returned from somewhere. Where have
I'm
you
back. I had my own little hiatus.
been? You're off on your own hiatus
Yes,
world.
I needed a break from all this LOSTies podcasting.
But the fans demanded your
They
presence
did.
again.
They demanded my return, so I'm
back
all
here.
refreshed and back, ready for more.
Woo! Well, it's another special edition of LOSTies, and tonight we're going to talk. Today, whenever it is, we're going to talk about our top five favorite moments of season 3 of Lost, and we have a special guest joining us on the show. It's Anna in Indiana from Jacob's Cabin Podcast. Hi, Anna.
Hey, Jed. Hey, Cara.
Hi, Anna.
So we want to say thank you very much, first off, for allowing us to be on your What Lost Means to Us podcast. That was pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for being on that. That was so much fun.
It was. And actually, from your story on that, I realized that the way you watched Lost is pretty similar to the way Cara watched Lost. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you watched all 3 seasons really quick to catch up to season 4?
Yes, I did.
In a tiny, with like a month? Or?
Yeah, and it was February, the shortest month of the year.
Well, I tortured Cara and did something similar where she sat, I don't know, it wasn't a month, that's for sure, but
Yeah, like 2 weeks probably.
Wow.
we cranked through them. But yeah, so that was interesting.
Oh, so Anna, I hear that you and Denise have started running.
Yes, we did start running back in, I think, late June.
How's that going?
The past 2 weeks have not been so good, but yesterday I ran and it was a lot better.
That's good.
You're training for
A 5K.
That will be good. Those are fun.
So I'm gonna say now, I don't think you should try out for the VU, babe. Your
My interviewing skills are
I just
not
thought of a question for Anna, and it's about running. That might have been canned, Anna. I don't know. We might have written that before. Okay. So anyway, Anna, why don't you just tell us about Jacob's Cabin podcast, a little bit about the show, and where folks can find it.
All right, well, Jacob's Cabin podcast is what I do with Denise, who is my coworker, and we started the podcast this year in late December just in time for season 5, and you can find the podcast at annaindiana.wordpress.com.
And I know you probably aren't prepared for this question. I know you've been asked it before too, but will there be a change-up next year since the cabin has been, created, put in ashes?
Well, I'm not planning to change the name. I mean, the cabin still exists in the past, and since we don't know what's happening as far as resetting, there's still the possibility that it might be around still, even next season. So I will hold out hope for now.
You at least have to have a wicked logo that's the cabin on fire. That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you want to do some top 5 season 3?
Yeah.
These intergalactic transports are somehow not as fast as I had anticipated. Yes, I'll bet you have. What? He said he was looking forward to number 5.
My number 5 is from Greatest Hits, and it's when Charlie writes on his Greatest Hits list, and his number 1 is Claire, or meeting Claire. That's his number 1 moment.
You really think they'll find us?
Well, yeah, why wouldn't they?
Thanks.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Claire. Nice to meet you, Charlie.
It's nice to meet you. We're here. I want you to give this to Claire for me. What is it? It's the 5 best moments of my sorry excuse for a life. My greatest hits.
Which I thought was very sad because he knew he was going to die and he got all emotional, but it was very sweet also. So it almost made me cry. So
An emotional moment.
an emotional moment, touching.
Number 5 emotional moment.
That's
from
right.
Claire. You know what I have to say to that? It's utterly depressing because Claire never saw that list.
That's very depressing. Yes, I agree. I agree.
Thoughts, Anna? Is that depressing?
Oh yeah, I wanted her to get the list so bad. And supposedly it disintegrated in Desmond's pocket, but I figured since it was written in Sharpie, it could have survived, it could have still been around.
That's true. That's very true. Isn't that permanent?
Yes!
I hope it soaked through and ruined Desmond's shirt. That's what I hope.
Then the list would have been written in his shirt. It would have leaked onto his shirt. She could have read his shirt.
That I want to see. That'd be good. Okay, Anna, number 5.
All right, my number 5 is, you might be surprised, it's from Expose. And it is when Nikki and Paolo got buried alive. And not because I hated them, that's not why this is one of the top scenes. It's one of the top scenes, I think, simply because of the shock value that it had. When you see them laying in the grave, and you see her eye pop open, and then the shovel full of dirt coming on top of her. To me, I was like, oh no, they've got to find her. And then a couple seconds later, you just see this huge mound of sand, and you're like, nah. They really just buried them alive, which is like, probably one of my worst nightmares. I've read a Edgar Allan Poe story about it one time, and it was terrible.
That scene is creepy as all, and this is an expose-loving environment, by the way.
Oh, good.
I am a fan of expose, although it's kind of hip now to love expose. I wasn't. How about this? I'm not really a fan of Nikki and Paulo in the sense they were used on the show, but that episode is really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought the episode was good too. And creepy is the exact word I would use for that. That shot when she has her eyes open and the dirt's coming down.
Yeah.
Ugh, just gives me shivers.
Fitting, though, for all those fans who wanted them dead so much.
Yes, that's true.
Very cool. All right, well, my number 5 is from the episode Not in Portland. It's when Juliet's ex-husband gets plowed into by a bus.
Yes.
Hello, Jules. What's up?
She's pregnant.
Excuse me?
It worked. Rachel's pregnant.
Julia, that's... Wow. I need to see your labs. We'll have to verify the data if we're gonna...
No. I'm not interested in publishing, Ed. It's my sister.
Fine, then. If you're not interested, why are you concerned?
So it's Dr. Edmund Burke. He's played by Zelko Ivanek. It's the guy from Damages, and he knows how to play scumbags really well. And I like it a lot because I guess it's kind of a ripoff of the bit from Final Destination, but I really liked it in Final Destination 2 where the girl steps out on the curb and gets smashed into the bus. But I guess I'm using this kind of as an excuse to say that I love Juliet's backstory in that episode. I mean, she was such a strong character on the island. To see her as a weaker character in the past, I guess we would say, it was a compelling story. And the story of her sister and how she was helping her get pregnant. So I'm kind of lumping in that with the awesome moment of the bus plowing into Edmund. You can make a comment.
No, I thought it was shocking.
Shockingly wonderful?
I have to keep my comments because I may be saying that in a minute.
How about that, Anna? Did you dig it?
Yeah, and like you said, she was so much more helpless back then, and she even went to Richard and confronted him and said, I said that I wished he would get hit by a bus, and Richard's like, oh, did you say that? And totally played it off, and she wasn't even suspicious, whereas I think 3 years later, the place where she was then on the island, she would have been like, you're just playing with me.
Yeah, okay, that scene in particular, I guess that is the first time we met Richard, too, that episode, which was really cool. I mean, instantly, it's just a very intriguing character. We wanted to know more, but that scene in particular, I really did like how he kind of spun it back on her, saying, I don't even remember you saying that, actually.
Yeah.
That was well done. Okay. Number 4. Cara?
Number 4.
Care Bears countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1.
I hate teddy bears. This is number 4.
Well, my number 4 is Not in Portland. Juliet's ex-husband gets hit by a bus.
Concerned.
I heard that's a good scene. Now
It's very good because it made 2 lists.
The question is, how do I show that twice in a row?
I don't know.
I'll just show smack,
Yes.
just play it. Yeah, that's
Oh,
a great
I don't know
idea.
if I can watch it twice.
Concerned.
Every time I've seen it, I know it's going to happen, but it's still, I don't like it. Startling.
It's cool, too, because it kind of demonstrates the strength of the others, I guess.
That was what I put as my reason, actually.
I'll just stop talking.
That's okay. That's okay.
Go
But
ahead,
I
talk
said
about it.
it shows the lengths that the others will go to get Juliet to the island. It doesn't matter what she says, they'll even kill someone to convince her to go there, which is very scary.
And it reminds you... Oh.
Go ahead, Anna.
It reminds you of Anthony Cooper, too, because he said he remembered being in a car crash or something, and then all of a sudden he finds himself on the island. So, you know, they're controlling traffic. They're grabbing people out of cars that have crashed. They're running over people with buses. I mean, that is a lot of power. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It just surprised me. I guess I'm trying to think right now if we saw a moment before... I keep wanting to say in the real world, but the world outside of the island, where we saw that kind of power from the others, that they could control a bus and hit somebody with it. It just surprised me that they had that much power.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, Anna, number 4?
All right, my number 4 is from Catch-22, and it's when Jin goes camping with Charlie and Desmond, and Hurley goes too.
하느님, 감사합니다. 전 갈고리 손인 줄 알고 무서웠어요.
그러니까 그 남자가 웃으면서 이 말 했지. 걱정 마세요, 소녀 아가씨. 내 갈고리 손은 네 앱이 머릿속에 아직도 박혀 있다!
And Jin tells the ghost story, and he's using the flashlight, and the whole story's in Korean, but at the end, everyone's totally spooked. And I just love that scene. It's just funny.
Do you remember it, Cara?
I do remember it, yes. I like that because even in a different language, you can make a scary story scary.
Absolutely. I love it. Is that the same episode where they're walking and they start whistling the tune from Bridge Over River Kwai?
Yes.
That whole bit. I mean, it's a crazy episode, but those 2 bits from it were hilarious. You know, I was really happy too, although we didn't get to see much of it from season 5, that Jin finally got to speak some English.
Yeah, poor guy.
I mean, Daniel Day-Kim's been tortured with that for years now, but...
really gets to communicate with other people versus just Sun.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't even get to do that. He didn't get to communicate with Sun, you know, in English yet because they're not together. But It's just nice to hear the actor be able to speak some English and maybe tell a ghost story in English next time. But it was great. Cool. Number 4 for me. Let's see. Oh, it's very similar actually. I've got Sawyer, Jin, Charlie, and Hugo have a beer and get the van running, and Trisha Tanaka is dead.
Now you got it. Only 3 things a woman needs to hear.
Come on. Get up. We got work to do.
What's your problem, Jumbotron?
Shut up, redneck man.
Touche. What's Jiminy Cricket doing here?
We need another man.
Another man for what?
Push this car, dude.
Push it? Push it where? Hey!
Let's see, that episode, I get so excited every time I hear Shambhala. Just like, even at the very beginning, when little kid Hurley's walking down the steps, I just get so excited about the episode because I love it so much. But that scene in particular, it was cool. Well, Jorge it was a great episode for Jorge. He got to do a range of different things, talking to Libby's grave and just a bunch of different stuff as an actor he got to pull off in that episode. But the scene where he's with the guys, I just love Sawyer and Jin when they're going through, what's it, the 3 things you have to know for a woman, you can tell a woman. Do you remember this, Anna, what the 3 things are?
Yeah, I think the 3rd one was those jeans don't make you look fat.
She's got it. It's I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're right. And sure enough, those pants don't make you look fat. No, that stuff is hilarious. I just love that bit in the episode where they get the van and just the guys together drinking the beer, riding around the van.
Skeletor seems to like it.
Skeletor seems to like it. Bottoms up.
Bottoms up.
That was cool.
That was a good scene because it gave them all hope then too.
It did. Hurley's Mr. Hope with
Yes.
his golf and his van.
Yes, that's why I like Hurley.
Yeah, we love Hurley. Okay.
Is
Number
it me?
3. Yeah, roll into it.
Number 3.
Deanna Troi loved me. No, Deanna Troi loved me. No, Deanna Troi loved me. Hey guys, what's going on? She's mine. Ah! Come with me. Where are we going? Deep Space Nine. What is this that we're riding on? Is this like a motorcycle? It's a land speeder. Number 3.
From The Man Behind the Curtain, I chose When Ben Arrives on the Island as a Boy.
Namaste.
Thanks.
Namaste.
Hey, welcome to the island, man. Namaste.
Namaste, yeah.
So,
Wow.
what do you think?
Wow, this is some place. Thanks again for the opportunity, Mr. Goodspeed.
Horace, please.
Horace.
And this must be Ben?
Yeah. Mr. Goodspeed was there the day you were born.
Yes, I was.
He's doing us a big favor here. Gave your old man a job. No, you don't say much.
That's okay. I bet he will when he has something to say, right, Ben?
He kept telling people he was born on the island and had lived there all his life. And here we find out that it was just another lie, just another reason he's bad. But also it showed that Ben really started out with Dharma and then became now somehow leader of the others. So it really showed his backstory, and I thought that was very interesting. You learned a lot more about Ben in that episode.
Anna, why don't you respond if you want to?
Well, yeah, we find out Ben's more of a liar than we thought. I like
Which
Ben,
isn't that
but he does
surprising,
lie
but-
sometimes.
You know what? I just like that image of hearing the whooshing sound. We know we're going to go into a flashback and seeing that young Ben with the glasses walking on the dock. It's a great image for the series. I mean, it does everything that you just said. It does show that he lied, that he was in Dharma and he wasn't born on the island. But I had this like excited moment to myself of, oh my God, we're gonna see Ben's flashback, and it just that visual of actually seeing him as a kid was so exciting. Okay, Miss Anna.
All right, my number 3 is from The Cost of Living, one of the earlier episodes, one of the Cage episodes. But I just love the part where Juliet wheels in the TV to where Jack is.
It was all so we could save his life. Ben. He's a great man. I know you find that hard to believe, but he is. You probably feel like you don't have a choice, but you do, Jack. Free will is all we've really got, right? Anyway, just wanted to put in my 2 cents. I told you before you couldn't trust me. I want you to trust me now when I tell you that doing the surgery is absolutely the right thing for you to do.
And she's on the TV screen using the cue cards and telling him what they want him to do and kill Ben and mess up in the surgery. And then she's speaking and she's asking him, please help Ben. Like, I just love how her words are exactly contradicting what's written on the posters and the way she planned that all out.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. Very, I don't know what the word.
I want to know how Miss Juliet has the ability to time out perfectly, starting the tape, talking to Jack, and not looking at the TV, knowing when to contradict what's on the screen.
She rehearsed it.
I want to know, and I want to see her setting up the camera, shooting that, and how she disposed of the cards.
She could have burned
You're
the
sounding
cards.
more like me now, actually.
Wait, what did you say, Anna?
I said she could have burned the cards. And I think the important part was what was on the tape. So the other stuff she could have said, she could have made it take longer or shorter depending how long or short the tape was. So that was mostly just filler anyway. She didn't want him to help Ben, I think.
It's true. I really dug that moment too, actually. Because it's on the DVD, I leave that menu up and playing all the time, so I like the little music that plays. And if you leave the menu up long enough, I kind of forget. But I think Juliet holds up a sign and says, "I'm much prettier than your ex-wife."
Oh, really?
Have you seen that? You haven't seen that, Anna?
I have not seen that.
Send your Lost Season 3 DVD and the menu that Juliet's showing the cards. You let it play for 2 minutes or something, and she'll hold a sign up.
Okay, wow.
Ripping on Sarah.
That's awesome.
That's cruel.
Yes.
Okay. That was your number 3. Good number 3, Anna. I'm gonna move on to my number 3. It's when we get to see the Dharma Initiative mass grave from the man behind the curtain.
This is where I came from, John. These are my people.
The Dharma Initiative.
They came here seeking harmony. But they couldn't even coexist with the island's original inhabitants. And when it became clear that one side had to go, one side had to be purged, I did what I had to do. I was one of the people that was smart enough to make sure that I didn't end up in that ditch. Which makes me considerably smarter than you, John.
Oh. 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 Oh.
What did Jacob say to you?
Why did you do this?
Because you heard him. Now I need to know what he said.
Help me.
John? I'm not going to ask you again. What did he say to you?
He said, help me.
Well, I certainly hope he helps you, John.
And I guess that moment in particular, when it's a hard cut from when Ben had just killed everyone in the Dharma Initiative and they cut to the dead bodies in the pit. And I just thought, what a tragic, sick image to show, to demonstrate really what this guy did. We don't know at what level he did this, but we know he was a major part of it. And just to pull out and see those bodies strewn out in the pit, and they were just left out in the open of the jungle to rot and be corpses. What a tremendous image. But specifically in that scene too, I love Michael Emerson's delivery of the line, because you heard him. His absolutely creepy face of, because he just shot John, and he's asking, why did you do this? And he says, because you heard him. Because he heard Jacob and Ben hadn't. Well, I guess we made that assumption at that point, but that's what it was. Ben hadn't really heard him. Just Emerson's delivery, creepy as always. And then the other part is John saying, help me, in response, because Ben asks him what he say. Those guys always rock the scenes like no other, but that's another really good one to go back and watch and just to see how those faces play, even though they're a big pit apart. That's my number 3. Anna, response?
The hole was awfully square. I wonder if they had bulldozers on the island, or if they had like bulldozers left over from building the Swan or the other sites, because that hole was perfectly square. And if you're making a mass grave, like if you had to dig it yourself, you wouldn't take time to make it that perfect, would you?
No, I wouldn't think so.
I hadn't thought of that, and you're absolutely right. So there must be equipment left over from when they were, for instance, building the Swan that they used, because there was a specific reason they made the thing rectangle or square, whatever it was. You're absolutely right. I hadn't thought of that. So there's awesome equipment that they could be driving around and wrecking things with.
Hurley needs to find that next.
Exactly.
Start driving it around.
That's what's in the guitar case. Keys to the bulldozer on the island.
Yes.
Okay, we're rolling through number 2.
I do not think you could take me in a fight. No, I could take you in a fight. Look, we're gonna have company! That's right, Chewie. This is number 2 on the list.
Okay, number 2, from A Tale of Two Cities, the opening scene when Juliet's crying and then she puts on some music downtown.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help, I know. Downtown, just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter there. You can't forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, so go downtown. Things will be great when you're...
And I like this scene because you don't know where she is or when she is when it first opens up. And then you realize that this is where the others live and how they live. And then I also liked it personally because usually before I have a party or have people over, some cooking disaster happens. So I felt for Juliet at that moment as well.
Cara is known to destroy a pan of, or maybe I don't know, a cake
Cookies,
pan.
yes.
She's destroyed 2, I think.
Yes.
Since I've known her.
So it made me feel better. But I also just really like the scene.
Cara, if it makes you feel better, one time we were cooking a dinner for about 60 people, and I was using a glass dish for a roast and potatoes, and it broke apart in the oven, and then someone found a big shard of glass in their potatoes.
Oh no!
Was that before or after they ate the potato?
And I have also accidentally grabbed a hot cookie sheet out of the oven with my bare hand. So.
Oh no, we
It happens to everyone.
That's good to know.
You know, to the 2 of you, when we get together and have this massive Lost podcast picnic we were planning, you don't get a cook for that. So just letting you know now.
That's good. That works out. You can do the cooking.
I'm ordering KFC. You're not bringing anything.
That's probably
especially if there's shards of glass in it. All right, I guess just to add a little bit, I would have said extend that scene over to the amazing part where she ran outside and saw a plane crashing.
Wait, that's my number 2. That's my number 2.
Oh crap! I'll just delete what I just said. Don't worry about it. So Anna, number 2.
All right. Well, I'm going to add on to what Cara said. Because my number 2 was seeing Oceanic 815 break apart in the sky. I mean, the whole opening part was really cool too because you didn't know where they were, when they were, but then you actually get to see the plane break into 3 pieces. And that was awesome because we'd been waiting 2 seasons for that. We'd seen little bits and pieces of the crash, we'd seen the wreckage. In season 2, I think in the other 48 days was where we got to see the tail section like, splash into the water, but we hadn't got to see the entire plane in one piece and then break apart, and that was just incredible.
And even to go further, that the jump cuts they do out at the end to reveal where the Dharma town is on the island, and you see the smoke from where the plane blew apart and all the pieces are going across. You get that big wide shot. Whoa, that's geek gold right there. I was loving that. Good pick, girls.
We work together.
Well, I'm gonna get serious then with my number 2. It's the death of Sawyer in the brig.
I ran that con 24 times. If your mother was one of the
Mary. Her name was Mary.
Mary from Jasper, Alabama. Yeah, I remember her. She practically begged me to take her $38,000 and to rescue her from her sorry little life.
You finished the letter.
Look, I only took her money. It ain't my fault your dad overreacted. If he pulled the old murder-suicide, then I'm sure he's down here somewhere. Maybe you could take this up with him?
Finish it!
Okay.
You wanna go to hell? You wanna go to hell?
This is... Heath would be proud of this because he's such a psycho Holloway fan, but I think this is Holloway's best stuff. I mean, we can talk about the incident later, but this scene he shares with Kevin Teague. The scene where Sawyer is having Anthony Cooper read the letter that he'd been holding his whole life to give to him. But the moment I like the most is where Anthony Cooper remembers Mary, his mother. Mm-hmm. And you see in Sawyer's eyes, and specifically in Holloway's performance, they do one shot in his face, and I swear, if you just look at his eyes, you can see this broken child snapping. I mean, he's there back remembering the death of his parents, and it's tragic just to watch. And the brutality going on, that he kills him afterwards. But I also kind of dug, though, in that scene, Cooper's... He just, he thinks he's in hell, right?
Right.
See, even in the face of what he thinks is a demon, what he would think is a demon, he's refusing to say, I'm sorry for what I did. He's refusing to be sorry for his choices in his life. And it's screw you to the last minute. I mean, it could be written off as like a cardboard character, just an evil character, but it wasn't played that way. I just thought it was somebody who made choices his entire life and he wasn't going to apologize for them. That was cool.
It didn't make me feel sad that he was killed then either. He had no remorse to the very end.
But it wasn't a flat character.
No.
What did you think of Anthony Cooper at the end, Anna?
I didn't really mind seeing him go, but I did appreciate the fact that even Sawyer, our Sawyer, went outside afterwards and threw up because he was like, I finally did it. I finally took care of this thing that's been following me around my whole life.
And he's been a completely different character since.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the moment he became somebody else.
Released his demons.
And they still call him Sawyer, right? Juliet calls him James?
She calls him James.
Okay. Interesting. Well, that's my number 2. Is it time? I wish I had some trumpets.
Do we need a drum roll?
Yeah, I'm not adding a drum roll. That's geeky.
All right. Number 1.
Number 1. You're needed on the bridge. Aye, aye, Captain, right away. Number 1.
From Through the Looking Glass, when Hurley drives the van onto the beach and saves Saeed, Bernard, and Jin from the others holding them hostage.
Stay in the bus, hero.
And I like this one because I like Hurley, but also because he offered to help Charlie, and Charlie told him he was too big for the boat, and he wanted to go with Sawyer and Juliet to help out on the beach, and they told him he couldn't go, so he just saved the day on his own. And I liked that.
You got a lot of love for Hurley.
I do.
And you really dig automobile violence.
Yes. I do. That's true. The bus, yeah. It's a pattern.
What do you think of the van killing people, Anna?
That's great. I mean, it's only second to Saeed's breakdancing moves.
I was thoroughly impressed with his neck snapping abilities with his ankles. That was well, I guess it was his legs, but still, that was quite the maneuver for Saeed. Yeah, it's cool. I liked it. I liked that they had Hurley coming in saving the day.
Not what you'd expect for Hurley to save the day.
And you're on a beach, you wouldn't expect that a van would come out of nowhere and kill you.
Exactly.
That's a good number 1. Good job. All right, Anna, you're up.
All right, my number 1 has already been mentioned on this list by Cara, but it is the greatest hits when Charlie's making his list.
Said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me.
Sorry, guys. Thanks, man.
Oi! You, stop! Oi, get the hell away from her! What are you doing? Leave her alone! You okay, miss?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Here you go. Pardon me while I have a heart attack. The last time I was in a fight, I was 8 years old. I lost.
Well, that makes you even more of a hero, doesn't it?
I just did what anyone would do.
3 people walked by the alley.
What?
They saw me, but they just kept on going. You are a hero, sir. And don't let anyone ever tell you differently.
And it's so great because it's a look back on a lot of his life. It's a good flashback where season 2, some of the flashbacks seem to get kind of boring, I think, and kind of started to drag down the story because you're like, all right, enough flashbacks about this person where you just see them having nothing but trouble. And here you see, here are good things that happened in Charlie's life. And even seeing the crossover of Nadia crossing his path, and he saved her and she called him a hero. That's just great too, because you just see that the Losties are connected in ways they still have no clue about in all their backstories. So that's my number 1.
Yeah, I really like the list and all the other things on it too, not just number 1. They were all really good to watch.
You know, Charlie as a character basically got screwed from season 2 until Desmond started saying he was going to die. I mean, really, they didn't do much with this character at all. Especially season 2, he was delegated to hanging out with Echo. And I always thought Charlie was such a fascinating character. You know, and I really dislike Fire. Is it Fire and Ice? Fire and Water?
Fire and Water. Fire plus Water. Well, you didn't think he showed a lot of growth with the kicking the heroin habit, and then I think he hung out with Echo because he used to be more religious before his brother got him hooked on the drugs and everything, and then he kind of turned back to the religious people on the island and said, okay, I'm really drawn to this, and I want to build the church, and I want to, talk to Echo about whatever.
I kind of wish he would have taken up the church after Echo, got killed. But the ending's amazing of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, greatest hits. Again, bummer, no delivery to Claire. But
yes.
Maybe they'll make up for something they'll do something in season 6 to make up for it. Okay, so numero uno for Jed is Give Me That Sodding Ring / the cricket bat and Jimmy Lennon from Flashes Before Your Eyes.
It's perfect. I'll take it.
No, you won't. Give me the ring. Give it here.
I don't understand.
This is wrong. You don't buy the ring. You have second thoughts. You walk right out that door. So come on, let's have it.
I don't know what you're on about.
You don't buy the ring, Desmond.
How do you know my name?
Well, I know your name as well as I know that you don't ask Penny to marry you. In fact, you break her heart. Well, breaking her heart, of course, is what drives you in a few short years from now to enter that sailing race to prove her father wrong, which brings you to the island where you spend the next 3 years of your life entering numbers into the computer until you are forced to turn that fail-safe key. And if you don't do those things, Desmond David Hume, every single one of us is dead. So give me that sodding ring.
Okay, so the Miss Hawking, first time I watched Flashes Before Your Eyes, I kind of shrugged off Miss Hawking, and I'm flabbergasted she became young, hot Ellie, and then older, hotter Eloise Hawking, because she was just creepy when she was older. But in that story, I kind of, when I was watching it, I kind of thought that Miss Hawking was just kind of, I shouldn't say TV cliches for Lost, but sometimes it happens, and I thought this was this is like Dallas Bobby dream time, where Desmond is dreaming, and this is going to be some outside character like from It's a Wonderful Life, like the angel from It's a Wonderful Life or something, just helping him along the way. But everything spun out of control with when she started talking about course correcting and then I started taking it really seriously in the episode. The concept of what happened to Desmond, and that kind of leads me into dorky little theory I've been talking to Donald about, which I'm sure will be ripped to shreds on his upcoming episode. But the idea that at the end when Desmond gets hit in the head with the cricket bat, originally Desmond thought that the bartender got hit in the head with the cricket bat.
I remember this night. Great Bridge come back from 2 goals down in the final 2 minutes to win this game was a bloody miracle. And right after they win, Jimmy Lennon's going to come through that door and hit the bartender right in the head with a cricket bat because he owes him money.
And it just struck me the other day that this is kind of an example of the first time an alternate timeline really existed, because one guy got hit one time at some point in the history of the world, and another time Desmond got hit.
I can still change things. I can still change it. Jimmy Lennon.
Where the hell's my money?
Hey, Doug, brother!
So, I guess I'm giving props to Flashes Before Your Eyes because I've watched it so many freaking times, and I keep rethinking how it works and what it's about and what it means, which is cool. So, Anna, what do you think about the cricket bat and Jimmy?
Well, how do you know that it didn't hit the bartender like 2 seconds later, or that he swung again after he missed and hit the bartender?
Oh, see, in one sentence, he just takes it and tosses it.
Hurry.
It's a good point. I don't know. They have a shot where the bartender ducks. So I thought, so since Desmond saw him get hit at some point in his past, that he would see it again if it really happened.
Maybe your better proof is when Miss Hawking says you're not supposed to buy the ring. That shows more strongly that something was supposed to happen and didn't.
What is she? See, it's weird because the show itself, they gave her the notebook or Faraday's journal, which kind of explains how she knows things happened in the past. But it's so strange. Why would she know every detail of it too? I mean, are they just taking the liberty with that, you think, Anna?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how would Faraday have written down things like Desmond's going to go to this store and buy this ring on this date? I mean, how would he know unless he was stalking Desmond his whole life?
I can totally see Faraday stalking somebody, though. He's got that creepy stalker look. It's a good point. In fact, we should probably go by frame. I bet, Jeremy Davies is somewhere in the background, hovering, watching everything, writing it down. I don't know. But it's interesting.
It is.
Cool. That's 5 fantastic moments from season 3. I am in utter shock at you two, to be honest. You had what, 3 of the same?
Only 2.
Only 2?
No, the greatest hits were the same, and then we had the other scenes that kind of piggybacked.
Okay, right. Okay, well, they're pretty close. I'm just shocked because I have to admit that this list is like my B list, because we had a listener call in, and his top 5 was just amazing. So I wanted to give him his opportunity to... He called in and left a voicemail, so I'm going to play that. But I was so impressed with the call, I'm going to let him speak for himself. It's a great list, and then we can talk about it afterwards.
Mail. Hey, Losties. This is LOST815X30FEY calling from Pennsylvania. I'm just calling in with my top 5 moments from Season 3. Right away, I think I'll start with an honorable mention from Expose, Nikki and Paolo's Excellent Adventure, the closing scene where we discover that they are being buried alive. Everyone seems to hate this episode, but I really loved it. It was shocking, and I love the thought that our beloved main characters were unknowingly burying 2 people alive. The feeling is intense. Props to Giacchino, too. But anyways, here are my top 5. from The Looking Glass, Charlie's Death. It's hard to put this at number 5, and I bet that a lot of Charlie lovers are going to yell at me for this, but this moment, without a doubt, is the tearjerker of season 3. I put it at 5 because there are a lot of great moments above it, but it's beautiful, poignant, and makes you want to fall to your knees and cry, and that's exactly what I did. My number 4 is from Tale of Two Cities, is the opening scene with Juliet, the Muffins, and New Otherton. It's a great opener, though not as amazing as the season 2 one. I loved watching this over and over. Cinematically, it's wonderful. I love the sense that we get to see how the others live from the inside right away. It appears like a perfect suburbia, but obviously we learn there's more to the yellow walls and picket fencing. I also love it because it's the first time we get to see Juliet and the wonderful actress Elizabeth Mitchell. My number 3 is from I Do. It's the closing scene during Ben's operation where Jack yells, "Kate, damn it, run!" This is one of my favorite endings of an episode of Lost ever. The emotion is just so condensed, and Matthew Fox swings the last line at you like an iron fist, while Giacchino provides the same effect in his music, which is a great piece called Under the Knife. It's just wonderful.
Kate, damn it, run!
My number 2 is from The Man Behind the Curtain, which I think is one of the best episodes of Lost ever. It's when Ben kills his father and the rest of the Dharma folks, Dharma side. Ben is, without a doubt, my favorite character. This is the first Ben-centric episode, and it was the most exciting thing ever for me. Michael Emerson is a genius, and I have fallen for him since the very beginning. But this is when I really felt for him. It's the first time we get to see any reason behind his madness. As he walked by the people he killed, it was the moment that I knew this was going to be my favorite character till the very end. But this isn't only Emerson's moment, it's Giacchino's too. To this day, Dharma's Side, which is the piece that's playing at the time, is one of my favorite pieces he has ever written. And my number 1 moment, and this is kind of obvious, it's from Through the Looking Glass. It's the closing scene, the flash forward at the airport. And really, I don't think I have to say anything, and it speaks for itself. So that's all for me. Can't wait to hear your next podcast. Keep up the good work. Sorry, I ramble. Okay, bye.
We have to go back!
Well, he sent that in. I had made a tentative list, and he sent that in, and it was basically 5-1, almost exactly what I had. Maybe switch some of these around. I'm just shocked we got through this list with the 3 of us, and we didn't mention Flash Forward as well.
Yeah, that's true. That was too depressing to me, though. Jack's all on pills and everything.
But he's got that awesome beardy growth.
I don't like that either. See, remember, I don't like beards.
No, Lost A15 by 30 Faye. Fantastic. Great message. We loved it. Your top 5 was basically my top 5. I just gave bonus top 5s in this episode. Good job.
And now for the further adventures of Super Spandex.
Yep.
Right.
Welcome to the first and hopefully last hiatus open. I'll take a shot.
I love you. Wake up, Hurley.
Why do I always have to be early?
You guys never let me do this with my shirt off. We all have to make sacrifices.
We're not going to Guam, are we?
Guam?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Guam.
Bella, why are you dancing?
Because it's Rex Manning Day.
Rex Manning, you're supposed to be being Lapidus.
je ne sais quoi. You say you need a little of my ooh-la-la. Say no more, baby, I'll be running every race. Say no more, more.
How realistic do you want this to be? That's not even a real plane anyway. Oh, never mind. Just follow me.
Okay.
They got 3 people and 4 guns.
No.
Okay, we have 2 people and no guns.
Not.
3 people and 4 guns, or just a baby with a sword. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, we're outnumbered. We're gonna need someone to rescue us. Shh. Do you hear that? Everyone?
Yeah.
How good a shot can you be? That's just unbelievable.
Unbelievable. You mean how Jack and the LOSTies out of nowhere in season 5 were all of a sudden the best sugars? That kind of unbelievable?
Yes, that kind of unbelievable.
All right then. Come on and rock. Season 5, shootout time. Now that's some cheating. Daddy, we're not gonna do the sign breaking next thing, are we? Because my legs are really tired.
All right, I guess not.
Okay.
You've just enjoyed the adventures of Super Spandex.
So Anna, more vid mail. Do you want to read yours?
Yes.
Go for it.
All right. Favorite episode of season 3 from Kevin P. in Omaha, Nebraska. Dear Jed and Cara, I'd have to say my favorite episode of season 3 is the last one in Through the Looking Glass Part 2, where Jack and Kate are at the airport and Jack tells Kate they have to go back. It doesn't have the same punch now as it did when I first watched it, but it holds up pretty well. Coming in a close second in the same episode is where Jack pummels Ben to a bloody rutabaga. That's awesome. Keep up the great work. I enjoy your vidcasts whether they deal with Lost or not. Hope Cara joins you soon. We need her wry sense of humor to help balance you out. Sincerely, Kevin.
Wry sense of humor.
Well, it's back, so.
Cara Love. Fantastic. Yeah, we had to read that just because of the bloody rutabaga bit.
That is good. I really like that.
Well, thanks, Kevin. Or Anna, tell Kevin thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
With passion.
This is from Alan. Excellent conference cast or concast or casterance. Anyway, that was way cool. Only thing missing was Cara and the cat. I've watched and enjoyed all your shows, and I like the vacation videos too. Medieval Times was funny. Looking forward to episode 29. Oh, I forgot to say, this hiatus. That was the funniest show. Thanks, Alan. Thank you. And I'm back. I was missed.
You were very
that
much
made me
missed.
feel good.
Anna, did you watch the episode this hiatus?
Yes, I did.
Were you insulted? Offended? She enjoyed it, I can tell. I can tell. I love her laugh. I can tell from her laugh. She loved it. All right, last email. From Kevin S. Here we go. It's called "What Are We Even Talking About?" This is my favorite scene from Trisha Tanaka is Dead. When Sawyer and Kate are about to return to the beach and be among the Losties, Kate asks, "What are we even talking about?" It is like they are being themselves, talking about the script, and wondering about their part when they will be acting on the stage of the beach. They end up not being truthful or sorry or humble, so the relationship suffers. Something we can all learn from. Very universal. That is what I love about Lost. Thanks for what you do in your videos. You can never go wrong when you're just being yourselves. Kevin S. Yo. You know, yo is going to be a thing. I'm going to push it till it's a thing that everyone does.
It's becoming a thing now.
No, Anna's not doing yo.
I'm not doing yo.
I'm not either, Anna. We'll be strong.
Kevin S. Yeah, I remember that moment, and it was kind of weird because it was a weird read of the line of what are we even talking about from Kate. She was because they were kind of arguing back and forth, or maybe she was referencing they were dancing around that they had sex in some cages. So, interesting moment. Great. Thank you, Kevin S. Okay, that's VidMail.
All right.
Anna, we've been doing this for quite a while now. We really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me. It's been interesting.
And we love Jacob's Cabins podcast. Do you have a new show coming out soon?
No, we put one out a couple weeks ago, and now school's starting again, so I'm not sure when the next one will be. Hopefully
Okay, you've got to get that girl pinned down. Get Denise, do a show. She's watching too much of that So You Think You Can Dance junk.
I know it.
All right, well, thank you, Anna. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Anna.
No problem.
All right, stay lost. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye.
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 I hopped off the plane at LAX with a dream, my cardigan. Welcome to the land of fame excess. Am I gonna fit in? Jumped in the cab, here I am for the first time. Look to my right and I see the Hollywood sign. This is all so crazy. Everybody seems so famous. My tummy's turning and I'm feeling kinda homesick. Too much pressure and I'm nervous. That's when the taxi man turned on the radio and a Jay-Z song was on. And the Jay-Z song was on. And the Jay-Z song was on. So I put my hands up to play my song. The butterflies fly away. Nodding my head like yeah. Moving my hips like yeah. Got my hands up to play my song. I know I'm gonna be okay. Yeah. It's a party in the USA. Yeah. It's a party in the USA. Get to the club in my taxi cab. Everybody's looking at me now. Like, who's that chick that's rocking kicks? She gotta be from out of town. So hard with my girls on around me. There's definitely